WBIM presents the Saturday Night Soundtrack. Whoever you're with, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, don't stop. Just turn us up. Coming to you live from the campus of Bridgewater State University. We are your destination for commercial-free classic rock to power your night. Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Van Halen, Aerosmith, Beatles, Eric Clapton, Pink Floyd, The Who, U2, AC/DC, Tom Petty, Allman Brothers, Ozzy, Neil Young, and hundreds more. Take us along wherever you go with the Livestream.com app in the iTunes and Google Play stores. So go get some food in the belly and gas in the tank as BSU's Alumni Saturday rocks on. The Saturday Night Soundtrack with Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, and Steve Rimmer begins now.
We are gonna blow your face out!
On Bridgewater's own 91.5 WBIM.
That's 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack's back. Welcome to it. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer.
Hello.
Hello. Jared looks like he's going to studiously do work again, or at least attempt.
It's a little thing.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It won't take long.
I like that. No, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind at all that you do it. Do whatever you need to do in there. I find it funny that there are weeks where you'll bring your laptop in and then it's just like meh, and it just kind of sits off to the side.
Yeah,
it's still in the bag. It's never been removed, and it's just the way it is. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to hear. 508-531-1303. We're going to be doing classic rock until 11 o'clock, so you can get anything on that you want. You can follow us on Facebook, like us there, Saturday Night Soundtrack. You can follow us on Twitter as well, at SN Soundtrack. And don't forget that we got a YouTube channel out there. All you got to do is search for Saturday Night Soundtrack. You filter for channels. We're the first thing that comes up there. It's got a little bubble, picture of our studio light that says "Stand by on the air." That's how you know you got the right one. Click on that. All our old shows are up there, and you can check them out anytime you want. They're just like little podcasts, and it's hours and hours and hours of entertainment. Normally I get the week's show up at usually around late afternoon on Sunday. Well, this week was just horrible because I have a job that I actually get paid to do as opposed to doing this program. So I got a little bit delayed, but the show still got up there on Wednesday, and everything is fine. So
now, what was going on today?
What was going on today? What?
Your PC.
Oh,
pissy.
Cats without a face.
Yes, my PC was being pissy. That's probably a good way to describe it. I don't know. I think part of the problem is the fact that I'm using a Dell Inspiron from 2004. That might be part of the issue. And I can't upgrade my iTunes anymore because there's only a certain. I've got Windows XP, which is a dead OS anyway.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. There's very little that you can do with that. I looked into my iTunes, and for some reason, iTunes I can't update anymore. I've got the most updated version that I can possibly have for a 2005 laptop. I've pretty much plateaued as far as that's concerned. And for some reason, it didn't want to burn disks. It kept getting to the end and then telling me that the burn disk process was finishing, and that then it would never finish. So I ended up creating a couple of coasters trying to do it that way, and some choice words were said, and then I just changed my burn speed, and for some reason that ended up being fine, but the whole process was just annoying.
Yeah.
I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to feel like I might want a new laptop, but then
But then you got to get a new TV too.
Right,
So.
and then money, and then I found out that in a discussion that I'll actually talk about a little bit later on in the program, I found out that there's some work that we may need to have done on our roof. There's some gutter work that may potentially need to be done. It's all indicative of the fact that I am a poor homeowner because I'm not handy whatsoever, and I also don't know what the hell to do. And we'll talk about that in a little bit because it was a great self-esteem booster for me today.
Good.
And found out about all that stuff, and it was great.
Yeah.
So how's a week been for you guys?
Horses.
Horses.
Yeah, it's a pretty good week. I don't know.
Well, Steve got all upset and uppity on the way here into the show because we were trying to figure out when we're going to set the clocks back, and then we realized that we set the clocks back next weekend, and then he realized that he had Sunday off next weekend, and then came to the immediate second conclusion that he managed to have the Sunday off when he could have potentially gotten an extra hour to sleep in before having to get up and go to work. So it's almost like wasting the extra.
It is.
I remember I used to feel that way when I used to work at Target and I would have to open on a Sunday. And it was the Sunday when we set the clocks back. Well, that was like Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, oh, great. Well, I have to go in there at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is stupid. But at the same time, this is fantastic because I don't have to go in there and just have to, I get an extra hour of glorious. And you never notice the extra hour anyway.
No,
you still wake up and then you're like, huh? Did that actually happen? Did I get the hour? Did that actually happen? What's going on?
Here's the thing. In England, the clocks go back tonight.
You people. This is what I'm saying.
There's always a week of disparity between here and there.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't know. I don't know why.
No.
The rest of Europe does it this weekend. It's only America that does it next weekend. So
I haven't heard all the arguments that I usually hear that go around about this time, where people are like, "Why don't we switch the clocks back anyway?" It's
kids
stupid.
And the school buses and
all that stuff. There used to be I think we even had a conversation about this on the show last year.
Yeah, we did.
The theory used to be that it was because of the farmers, and then Jared said, "Well, it wasn't really because of the farmers; it was because of and I can't remember what he said.
It probably was pretty inconsequential.
The look on his face tells me he hasn't been listening to this conversation whatsoever.
Not one bit.
No,
Did you see how he looked up? He's like, Jared said what?
What?
What's going on? Well, once again, there are people in the room during the program who aren't even listening to the program. Hopefully there are people out there who are actually listening to us.
No.
Again, call us 508-531-1303.
I remember why. Because
it's just going to take him a while to get it out.
Yeah. Could you plug that in? You got to wander around something.
It's a well-oiled machine here.
Yeah, I don't remember. Forget it. You know what happened?
Yeah.
You know what happened was,
as
I saw that faceless cat, it ruined my day.
It ruined my day, too, and I didn't even see the goddamn thing.
I described it to you.
Yes, you did. We're driving it real quick, and then we'll get into the first block of Classic Rock, because everybody wants to hear about this. I'll spread the joy to you, because I had to have it spread to me. I had my face down looking at my phone because I wasn't driving in. Jared was driving because we were carpooling as we normally do. We took his vehicle, and as we normally do. And he all of a sudden he goes, "Oh!" And I, immediately when the person driving does that, you soil yourself, and then you look up and you go, "Well, is everything okay? And what happened?" And then he proceeded to explain to me that there was some roadkill, and he decided for whatever reason to take a closer look at the roadkill, and it wasn't just random raccoon roadkill, it looked like somebody's cat.
It was an orange tabby cat.
Which I don't want to hear because I have an orange cat.
Me too.
Without a face.
Right, and I have an orange cat without half his ears.
It's more haunting.
So it's sort of hitting home for me.
It's more haunting than Glenn with a protruding eyeball.
Well, if it was orange, it wouldn't be Glenn.
It'd be yellow.
It would be Abraham.
And here we go.
Here we go.
Now we're off and running. Oh.
Oh, good. Let's go to the music.
I like how you start to say things, and then all of a sudden you realize on your face that the words are actually coming out. You thought maybe you could stop them, and then you were incorrect.
No, I cannot stop them. They're unstoppable like Trump.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, Elton John, and David Bowie are all up next in this block. You got SNS on BIM.
Saturday nights and classic rock. They just go together like bacon and hot fudge sundaes.
Whatever.
Just trust us on this, okay? Bacon and hot fudge sundaes. Yum. The Saturday night soundtrack with Rob Hicks on 91.5 WBIM.
That's the Buffalo Springfield 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS radio show. That one reaches back to 1967 from their Buffalo Springfield Again album. Mr. Soul, STP was before that. The band, Foreigner, Jethro Tull, David Bowie, Elton John, and Stevie Ray Vaughan all in that block. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbatos, Steve Rimmer, and STP featuring Scott Weiland, who would have just celebrated a birthday a couple of days ago. His birthday was October 27th. He would have been 49.
But he decided to die.
Yeah, he decided to die.
Yeah, because he did.
Because he did drugs, and don't do drugs. And that's all we have to say about that.
Too late.
Well, it's not too late for the people out there that might be contemplating a life of hard drugs. We're just trying to convince them otherwise. Please do not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Is that what they say?
Yes, that's what they
say. Do people even say that anymore? I don't even know. Call us up 508-531-1303. Let us know what you want to hear. Classic Rock until 11 o'clock. Get anything on that's Classic Rock related that you want. And that's pretty much how it's going to go. I'm wondering, Jared, if you knew that last weekend, I believe it was Sunday, down in Rhode Island, they had a yoga pants parade.
Yes, they did. I saw that.
Knew that.
Oh, okay. Did you attend?
I did not.
Oh.
Did you see the reason for it?
No.
Oh, it was a journalist that had come out against yoga pants. He made some derogatory remarks about the size of women that should or should not wear yoga pants. So they actually did the parade and went right past his house.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's great.
I don't know what man on this planet would complain about yoga pants.
Oh, I could. Seeing some of the things I've seen in yoga pants.
So you're in the camp with that gentleman then who was complaining about the yoga pants and the size of certain yoga pants.
Yes. Well, it's not size of the yoga pants. It's
it technically
inhabitant
is.
Of
it
the
technically
yoga pants.
is, right? Because if the inhabitant is able to put the yoga pants on, then the yoga pants should just not be made in a certain size. Why am I going into this?
Now, the other thing is...
I'm just digging the hole. I'm just digging it deeper.
I mean, not only the large yoga pants you see walking around, but in slippers. That's the other bit that gets me.
At the store?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Wandering about?
You got to go out grocery shopping, put shoes on. Slippers, they're for home.
Oh, now there's going to be a slipper party that's going to go right by Steve Rivers' house.
Exactly.
He's going to love it. He's going to be looking out the window going, oh, look what's going on. Look at all that.
Oh, golly.
I don't know what's going on. So anyway, yes, give us a call, 508-531-1303, and let us know what you want to hear. Jared's got his new sweatshirt on from Bull Moose. So if you want to tout Bull Moose a little bit, because I know you've mentioned it before here on the show, but I feel like you tend to mention it more around I almost said Yoga Pants Day, more around Record Store Day, and you don't necessarily mention it as much during the off season. So I just thought maybe you'd like to throw a plug in there.
I mean, I'm kind of backwards on this, but I didn't realize it was a Record Store Black Friday as well.
Yeah.
And there's some new releases coming out on that day.
Yep.
And when is that?
Black Friday.
Yep. So it's on the actual Black Friday.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought maybe they had their own special one.
No, it's their way of being involved in the whole Black Friday experience.
Bull Moose has to be probably the best store on the face of the planet.
Mm-hmm. I can attest to that.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
They have almost all of your needs.
Oh, everything's covered.
Everything is there. They've got the books. They've got the movies.
They don't have much porn, though.
You got to look.
No.
It's there.
You got to know where to look.
Is it a secret room? You got some sort of a...
There's a curtain at the back.
Yeah. I don't know. It's up in New Hampshire and Maine. I think they only have 13 stores, I believe, but hands down, best store I've ever been to. If I need something, they got it. Usually.
You know what they don't got, though? Porn.
What's that?
No, I'll tell you actually next week.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We'll see about that.
He's like Donald Trump. He's going to keep us in suspense.
Keep you on the suspense.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I discovered this.
Oh.
That doesn't sound good at all. I discovered the store a couple of years ago, and I've been going ever since.
Now, let me ask you this. How did you discover it? Did you see it online? Or
No. I lived up in Salem, New Hampshire for a small spell, and that was the store to go to. And then after that, I went there. A friend of mine took me there, and then I saw more because they had moved at that point from the small store that they were to a bigger location with more stuff.
So this must go back a while, because when the hell did you live in Salem, New Hampshire?
A while ago.
Wow.
Anyway, so it's
like,
literally
were you 12 years old? I mean,
yeah,
Jesus,
you'll never know.
Yeah.
It's literally the best store ever. Like for a case in point is I sent them an email about the those Metallica reissues that they were coming out with, and I asked them if there's any way on this planet that I could pre-order from them, and they said absolutely. Well, I didn't even know you guys took pre-orders. I've been going to your store for years, and I just found out.
I mean, I would think they would have to be in on the pre-order game. Because, I mean, all stores do pre-orders.
I don't
even
know.
stores I would never even conceive of pre-ordering something at, they still do the pre-orders, and it's like, meh, you serious?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It just seems strange because you asked Newberry Comics and tell you, sorry, guys.
Hey, they've got a T-shirt sale going on right now, I hear.
Who, Newberry?
Yep, you can get tons of like Bowie T-shirts, etc. for $1.99 a piece.
Oh, really?
So I care about that.
I would actually check that out. How long is that going on
I
for?
don't know, but I'm going this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out maybe tomorrow
Yes.
or during the week or so. I was just wondering if it was only going on during the weekend, because I actually have a lot of the T-shirts that I get and that I wear on the weekends into this program and everything else I've gotten from Newberry.
Yeah.
I don't like that they've gone more in a clothing direction. Because I tend to go there for their Blu-rays and their used products and whatnot. But I have picked up clothing there from time to time, and $1.99 is enticing.
Exactly.
So,
No, my niece was there last night and she was freaking out. She almost got me something, but
it's
They've gone so far. Like I don't mind like a company growing, right, and expanding their horizons. I don't mind that, but they've gone so far away from their core being. Right. That's like you go to McDonald's for the cheeseburgers, and then they go, all right, now we're gonna have some chicken products. You're like, okay, but now like they're offering shirts. Kind of like you're like, whoa, McDonald's.
Well, it's kind of like the time that they offered pizza, and then everybody was like, "That's gross. We don't want the pizza."
That's a better analogy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Now you go to Newberry Comics, the name is in the thing, and now the comics used to be a 4-panel wall. Now it's a 1-panel wall with half a shelf. And then after that, it's you also go there for the music. The music is all outrageously priced.
I would never buy.
Yeah, you go to buy say a used Jimi Hendrix record, right?
Right.
And it's $40. But if you go to Maz Records down in Plymouth Center, it's $15. Why are they marking it up that much? Because they're just like Barnes and Noble, where they're getting in on the vinyl act and then jacking up the price. It's ridiculous. And then after that, they tell you have to buy T-shirts and junk. It's ridiculous. I know a guy that works down there, and he was telling me that he might have to go. That the uppers are trying to push him out because they want young 20-something-year-old girls to promote the clothing that they have going because they're moving into the clothing aspect of it. He's like, that's not what I came here to do. I came here to sell music. I came here to sell comic books and talk to people that care about this stuff rather than caring about the mall rats.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
There's that one gothy-looking girl that used to work there for a while that used to scare the crap out of me. I don't even know if she still works there anymore.
I have no idea.
I don't know if because I used to see her in the old location before nobody gives a crap about this. I used to see her in the old location before they moved into where FYE used to be, in the Kingston Collection.
So, talking about record stores like this, Pete Burns.
Yes, he just passed away this week.
He used to be the clerk in the record store that I used to go to, Pro Records in Liverpool. He used to scare the crap out of me. He'd verbally abuse you if you tried to buy something that he didn't deem a decent record.
That's awesome.
He'd actually throw it across the floor and tell you to go choose something else.
I like those people.
Yeah, that's you were almost like that at Target, and I think they probably almost fired you on numerous occasions for being
probably.
like that.
But on the other side, a lot of people appreciate it because I was the same way with movies when I worked at the movie store. People would come up to me with the junk, and I'm like, listen, I understand that you got to have some kind of junk like sugar to your diet every now and then, but like if you want to expand your palate, get something good. Here, check out this. Check out Terry Reid. Check out Motorhead. Check out Budgie. All this stuff. And then people come back. Man, that was a phenomenal album. Where have they been all my life?
Or they're like, I wish you had not played Motorhead prior to 9 o'clock in the evening.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Well, that's too.
Excuse
Some
me.
romantic evening
I apologize.
the swing in the
that
garden out
that
back.
we ruined your outing in your sex hammock or whatever you were doing
Yeah,
with some Motorhead. I'm sorry, that was our fault.
Well, do you know what happened by me being that way to my customers, right? Is that I ended up getting a group of people that followed me whatever store I went to. Oh, you're leaving to this store? Are you leaving this store? Yes. Well, whatever you're going, I'm going to go. And they followed me all the way from the record store to the video store to Target. And then
It was like a Jared parade.
Yeah, a little
like
bit.
a yoga pants parade, only with people following Jared.
Well, because people took stock in what I had to say about the stuff that they were buying. They actually like, all right, I believe that you have my best interest in mind and not the agenda of your store or sales that you have to hit. Like people come to me about the televisions. I'd be like, you don't want that television, even though it's on sale for $150. You want this television over here because it's a little bit better quality. They'd go buy that television. Whereas, I got the store manager chirping at my ear. You got to sell them on the one that's on sale. Why? Because that's the one that's on sale, and we get kickbacks. But I don't care. I don't care if we get kickbacks on that. I care about the fact that my customer is not going to come back here in 6 months and be like, "Ooh, my television busted," because that's the kind of touch that stores miss these days. You don't get that anymore. The only place that you seem to get it anymore is Boneless.
There you go. And it all comes full circle.
Little editorial
from Jared Barbetta and your friends here at 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Next block of classic rock coming up. Got Bad Company, Billy Joel, and Rolling Stones all on deck.
Stay connected with these guys. Like the Saturday Night Soundtrack on Facebook. Follow SN Soundtrack on Twitter. And subscribe to the Saturday Night Soundtrack channel on YouTube. Now you can get as much of Rob, Jared, and Steve as you want. Anytime, anywhere. And who doesn't want that? SNS on BIM.
This is Van Halen, 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack, Rolling Stones before that. Billy Joel had Bad Company in there as well. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer. Got Bad Company right here.
Good.
I say it all the time, and it never gets old.
No, it never does.
And it never gets untrue. So there you go. 508-531-1303. Let us know what you want to hear. Classic rock until 11 o'clock. You can get anything on that you want. You can like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack. You can follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack. And you can check out our YouTube channel. All you got to do is search for Saturday Night Soundtrack, filter for channels. Podcasts of all our old shows are up there, so listen to them because they're hilarious and great.
Yes, they are.
If I may say so myself.
Yes. Has your wife still caught you listening to yourself?
She did the other day, as a matter of fact.
She did.
She did. And then, well, here's the thing. So she came home. She came home one day, and not only was I. She came home earlier, like way earlier than I thought she was gonna. So that's already dangerous.
Yes.
And I mean, it was lucky that I even had pants on. And so I'm doing stuff in the kitchen, and not only am I listening to myself, I'm listening to myself on the surround sound in the living room because I've got my phone hooked up to the receiver. Well, I needed to charge my phone, and I wanted to listen to the program, and I figured, well, kill two birds with one stone here. I was listening to the version that I put on my my iPhone, which is actually the uncut version, so it has all the music and everything, because I wanted to listen to music too.
Oh, okay.
So I had the version of the full version of the shows. And everyone doesn't understand this on YouTube because of copyright reasons. We can't put the music up, so the podcasts that you hear are just these bits of us coming on and talking and being annoying.
Yeah.
So, but the versions that I have are the uncut version. So I had that on my phone. It's like the uncircumcised versions of SNS. So I had that going on the receiver, and I was listening to that in the living room. And so she didn't realize it for about a song or two because she thought I was just listening to my iPod.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she heard like the thing that we play at the top of the hour. Mm-hmm. She's listening to a song, and then all of a sudden she hears
live from the campus of Bridgewater State University.
And she's like, "Oh my effing God, are you listening to yourself?" And I was like, no comment. Yeah, but yeah, I am. So that happened, and then she called me a nerd, and then that was fine. But I was partially redeemed the next day. So that she came home another day, and my brother-in-law was doing some work in the basement, and he had the radio going. And excuse me, it wasn't the radio. It was the World Series was going, and he had it on the TV in the living room.
Okay.
And the TV in the living room was just still on. So she came in and she heard the commentators, and she was like, "You are not listening to yourself again." And I was like, "No, that's baseball." And I say it like it's ridiculous. Like, of course I'm not listening to myself. It's a friggin' baseball game, woman. Why would I be doing that?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on. So that's been the incidents lately, and aside from that, everything has been fine, and I haven't been listening to myself that much. Speaking of my wearing pants, I'm wearing pants today.
Yes, you are.
I didn't wear pants last week. Well, you know what I mean.
Yes, I know.
I decided to wear shorts, and that was a mistake because it was all cold and raw and rainy, and Jared tried to warn me a couple of times before we left my house. Sir,
I did.
He was like, "Sir, I'm wearing a flannel and long pants, and I have a jacket in the car. Are you sure you want to walk outside with your shorts and T-shirt deal?" And I was like, "I'm going to be fine. It's going to be warm up in the studio, and when we leave, it's just going to, it's going to feel good. I'm going to be like Andy Dufresne at the end of the Shawshank Redemption, just standing there with my arms up in the air and out of the studio and just like, it's great." And then we walked outside last week, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus, it's cold out here."
It was blowing as well. It was a cold wind.
Yeah, so I didn't want to walk out again with my pants off and things blowing. So I decided that I would make sure to wear pants And so I've worn pants, and I even brought a heavier coat.
There you go.
So everything's all taken care
Proud of you, sir.
I'm all on top of this. I'm an adult. I'm an adult today. It doesn't happen very often, so enjoy it while it does. Lots of things to talk about in this week's show. I think we're going to wait. We talked about that bit that we were going to do that I think we're probably going to wait. I'm thinking what I might do is I might wait until after we've gotten the food and we've actually eaten the food.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking that the conversation we're going to have to go into the thing that you want to do, if it doesn't make sense to anyone out there, that's fine. I'm thinking that's going to play better if we're not trying to rush because we're like, I really want to eat my food while it's hot.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's probably going to come up later on, so we'll get into that. All sorts of things that we want to complain about as old men because that's what we do.
Yes.
So we can take care of that as well. And we'll probably get some requests on in the meantime and do all sorts of stuff like that. I haven't... yeah.
So you and I are both married.
Not to each other.
Oh! So do you ever get that thing where you come home in an afternoon, especially on a Saturday afternoon, when you want to get things done and your house is completely turned apart?
All right, we'll get it on.
Yes, but it's yes.
Yeah, like today I came home. I get home around 2. I leave at 6. I have 4 hours. That's all the time I've got to get anything ready for the show that I want to get ready. And the wife has painted a cabinet in the kitchen. She has all the mats up off the floor because she's mopping the floor, and then she's vacuuming and polishing tables, so I had to actually leave the room and go and sit in the bedroom.
See, that's not the case, though. That doesn't really happen. If anything, it's the other way around, and I end up doing that to my wife.
Oh.
Because she'll come home, and I've just basically, like, I haven't, I've got things turned around because I'm vacuuming the sofas, and then she'll be like, well, I'll just go upstairs and just lay down for a bit. Well, okay, you're not going to have any sheets, though, because I've got the sheets in the wash.
Washing the sheets.
Well, what the hell? Why would you do that all at one time? Well, I didn't know you were going to want to, whatever. So, yes, I haven't had it happen to me directly, but it's happened the other way around.
Yeah, all the time. Always on the weekend.
Is this a frequent occurrence?
Yes, it is.
And did it happen yesterday?
No, because she's not. It's only when she's not working. So it's only on Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh, I get you.
But you see, I work on Saturdays and Sundays. So
right.
I come home, I just want to relax. I just want to sit on the couch and veg or do what I want to do.
Right.
Don't get the chance.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
And the only it's also been kind of like... our house has been a little bit up in the air anyway since, the summer when we've had all the work. Luckily, it's still in the home stretch. I think that project is almost done.
Good.
At this point. I know it's been almost done for a while, but we also keep tacking on things that we want him to do. So it's kind of drawing the thing out a little bit more. But, it's difficult to kind of keep the living room clean because I'll not to sound all domestic about this, but I'll vacuum the couch and I'll get everything all good and I'll mop the floor and everything. And then he'll come up from the basement with the boots, and then he just sits down on the chair, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. You're doing us a favor by doing all this stuff way below cost, so I won't say anything about it, but God damn it, I'm going to have to clean that again. It's going to have to happen. Let us know about because this always works so well. Tell us, Steve, about the record that we got coming up. You've only brought me one so far this evening, and it's the Jimi Hendrix record. So please tell us about it.
It was an unusual LP because it was he was on the track label, as were the Who. And if you notice on one side of this LP, the Who are on one side and Hendrix is on the other. So these were like little samplers they would put out.
And I remember, I think you've actually brought in one of the, it might have even been this song.
It probably was
I know that you've brought this in before. And it's and Track Records is that all they did? Did they just do compilations or did they do other things?
No, he was signed to Track Records. So in England, his albums came out on the Track Record label.
And
same with the Who.
He just had to share it with the Who then.
Yeah. But these were just like little samplers so you could get a piece of each. But this track I always thought was one of the best early Hendrix tracks.
And the track is called Come On, and it's right here.
Come On.
Come on. Come on. 91.5 WPIM Bridgewater, Saturday night soundtrack with Jimi Hendrix.
People talking, but they just don't know.
Led Zeppelin. 91.5 WPIM Bridgewater. SNS Radio Show. That one's for Lisa and Tom. Steppenwolf before that. Double shot of Pink Floyd, Pat Benatar, and Jimi Hendrix all in that block. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer. Well, I don't know why we're doing that, but that's fine. Hello. Give us a call, 508-531-1303. Let us know what you want to hear. Classic rock until 11 o'clock. We'll get anything on that you want that's classic rock related. I always have to specify it's that little asterisk. Don't call and request something stupid. That's all I have to say.
We haven't had a stupid request for a
No,
while.
we haven't actually. All our requests have been legit recently, and we appreciate that. So please, let's keep the streak going. Speaking of stupid and not knowing what you're doing and all sorts of things, I teased earlier about mentioning the fact that as far as the work that we're having done around our house, that maybe there are some things that I just don't necessarily know a whole heck of a lot about, or even if I know about them, well, I'm just not good at them. So having a conversation with my brother-in-law today. So the whole work that we've been having done in our basement, a little bit of not even really I wouldn't say a hiccup, but had a slight incident within the past week where there was water on the new floor down in the basement. And so my brother-in-law was like, well, it looks like it's coming in from, where the foundation is. So he went outside and looked, and there was like a hairline crack in our foundation, and it was just enough to sort of let it in. And he said, you didn't notice it before because it's just, it was probably getting in there, pooling a little bit, but then drying, and, the whole basement was gross. Mm-hmm. You had no reason to go down and look at it, and it would just dry up and you wouldn't notice. And he said, well, I can fill that in, no problem. It's not a big deal. And then he started looking, so this is the stuff that he's really good at, and this is why we have him doing these things, because he's looking now to see why there's a crack in the foundation, what's causing it. Mm-hmm. So he looks up and he realizes, your gutter's an absolute disaster because it's like a V shape because it's pulled away from the house. Mm-hmm. And I was like, look at that. So he's like, well, I can get up there and just kind of hammer it back in, assuming that the wood is good up there. Oh, so I said, well, okay. The good news is, so today he comes over, and he did some of the stuff on the basement, but most of the stuff he was doing was actually outside, because it was to do that gutter piece. And then he called me out there, and he was like, do you want the good news or do you want the bad news? So I said, well, whatever order you think is appropriate, go ahead and let me have it. And he said, well, your wood is good. You have good wood.
Peeking again?
Yeah, he said your wood is fine, which is good because it would be thousands and thousands of dollars if this wood was not good, because they'd have to rip the gutters off and put the new wood in, and whatever else has to happen. Again, no idea, because I'm not good at this stuff.
Yeah.
So I said, well, okay. I said, what's the bad news? And he was like, when's the last time you've had your gutters cleaned? Have you had them cleaned since you bought the house? Which, by the way, was 10 years ago.
You're going to say no, aren't you?
He's like, dude, it's like, you have got a friggin' ecosystem growing in your gut. It's not even a gutter. It's like there's soil that is just sort of built up. Yeah. And then he's like, and then there's an outlet on the other side, like one of those drain pipes. Mm-hmm. He's like, that thing is all filled because it's moved itself over and migrated and grown up the
oh my God,
the downspout. The downspout. He's like, and that's why no water's getting anywhere. He's like, and that's why all the water was collecting, and it created like a V. And all I keep saying to these things is, huh? He's like,
weird.
And he was like, you guys should have bought a condo. He's like, you really should have been thinking condo. And I was like, yeah. And the thing was, I just wanted to end the conversation with, well, thank you for your expertise. And if you can do it for us, great. And if you can't, well, then we'll hire somebody. And I kind of wanted that to be the end of it. And then he was like, I'm serious. It's like a little ecosystem in here. He's like, look at the moss. And then he shows me a pile of moss that he collected from our gutters and dumped out. And he's like, this is just from that stick that I put in your gutter at that point, and over here, which is like a foot or two tops. He's like, look at that. He's like, look at all the moss. And then he said, I'm going to be able to build like a 1/64 scale of a golf course out of all the moss that's in your gutters. And then you'll see like a little mini Tiger Woods coming out. He could probably play on the thing, because look at it. You guys should have thought condo. and he said that about 5 times in the course of the conversation. And it just drove home the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. The best part about it, too, is you bought the house from that guy, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Oh, all right.
No, I bought the house from my other, from my sister-in-law, so my wife's sister and her husband. And the guy who's doing all the work on our house is my wife's brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and it's great, too, because they've got sort of like this it's almost like this sort of healthy competition thing going on.
Yeah.
Because the guy who's doing the work on our house right now, my wife's brother, basically just doesn't hold any regard or esteem for what the other guy did as far as all his handiwork. Like, he'll walk onto the porch and he'll be like, oh, I bet Tim did this whole porch, huh? You can tell. It's like the whole thing's half-assed. It's like, I could close this all in for you. You know, I could friggin' do it right. And but then at the same time, so the other guy will come over, and like he actually came over to our house about a week and a half ago or so, and he walked into the kitchen, and the first thing he said was, "Oh, you still have got all the cabinets that I put up. They're holding up good, huh?" Oh, look at this. I don't know why he sounds like Mikey D. Oh, look at the floor. Is that the floor I put in? That's still the floor I put in. Held up good, huh? It's like, okay.
Wonderful.
So it's just like a combination of things. He comes in and he's all proud of the fact that everything that he's done to the house for 10 years ago when they lived there is still intact and going strong. And then my wife's brother will come in and be like, "Well, this is all half-assed and garbage, but I can fix it if you want, and it's not that big a deal, and I can do it better than this." It's like, okay.
That's good. You got competition between the two of them.
Right. I've got competition between two handy people, neither of which live in the house, one of which only owned the house 10 years ago. And then you got my dopey ass who has no idea what the hell I'm doing with the house and apparently should have thought condo, as was driven home to me numerous times.
Awesome. Condo.
Now, you guys, I mean, you in the apartment, you have an apartment now, and so all that stuff's taken care of you. It's taken care of for you, yeah? Like, no, you don't? Or do you have to do...
What stuff?
Like, any stuff. Like,
I don't have to... Well, no, I mean, I used to
maintenance type things, outdoor maintenance type things on the exterior and all that.
No, we do all the yard.
Okay.
And I've done things like I wired up a TV up to... They didn't have cable access to the upper floor. Oh, okay. So I took a wire and wired that up. Gotcha. I've done stuff like that. Okay. But I do miss doing the maintenance stuff around the house and outside the house. I don't get to do a lot of that anymore. I enjoy it.
Apparently, I don't do a lot of it anymore.
Yeah.
And and then he basically, his immediate next reaction is to quote us a price. So as soon as he sees these things, he's like, "I can do that for you, like $650. I'll do all the gutters, and then I'll do this part of the roof." He's like, "Because you got to do this part of the roof ASAP." ASAP. He's like, "This thing is gonna." He's like, "It's gonna be bad news if that thing caves in. You know, you want to make sure to get that done ASAP, and then I could do that for you for such and such a price." You guys really should have thought condo. Like, okay,
yes,
point taken. Thank you,
With
sir.
With houses, I always found it's better to be proactive.
Well, yeah, it's also probably
nip it in the bud.
It's also probably better to know what the hell you're doing, which I don't. And it's one of those things where even if I knew, like, I can kind of grasp the basics of the things that need to be done. I'm not good at doing them.
So Google it. You get step-by-step videos.
I understand that, sir. But the problem is that I can look at the videos and I can see what they're telling me that I'm supposed to do, and I can see what it is that I should do. And then when it comes time that I've actually got to do it, I'm going to screw it up. Yeah. Something's going to go wrong. I'm going to break something. And I think in the end, I think the whole lesson is that, we should have thought condo.
Yeah.
And
there's still time for that, isn't
I mean,
there?
what's funny is that it kind of strikes a nerve because my wife was sort of saying that 10 years ago that we should have thought condo, and I was like, but we got this great opportunity to buy this house from your sister. Okay. So I sort of spearheaded that deal, and now it's just backfiring on. It's just not good. So that's where we're at, but it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. And on an unrelated note, I was watching The Money Pit the other night, and it struck more of a chord with me than it ever did when I was a kid watching that movie and just thought it was funny. Now I watch it and I'm like, holy crap.
Yes.
This could be us at any time. I think it is us at any time. 508-531-1303. Let us know what you want to hear. Give us a call. Another big classic rock block coming up. We got the Black Crowes and the Scorpions all on deck. SNS on BIM.
Hitting the bars or hitting the books. We'll make your night rock with Rob Hicks and Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack on 91.5 WBIM.
That's Cheap Trick. At 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack, Black Sabbath before that in that block. Scorpions, heard from the Black Crowes as well. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer, and thank you to Campus Pizza. I don't know how your stuff is, but mine is phenomenal. It's actually probably better. I feel like it's better than the last couple of times I've gotten the calzone that I got. And
same with my sub.
I agree.
It's like mine is very it's nicely cooked. It's almost well done, but it's not like too well done. It's still good in the middle, and like, but the cheese on the top is all crispy and it's like dark.
Nice.
Oh, it's so good, so good. So thank you to Campus. Thank you also to the delivery guy, whoever it was, who actually brought it into the room for
He
us.
actually found us.
So that was good. He found us. I mean, and if anybody doesn't think that that's a big feat, we're all the way upstairs. We're on the third floor of the Ronald Campus Center, and we're at the very end of that third floor. So you got to walk up 3 flights of hot stairs because for whatever reason, no matter what season you're in, the stairway is always brutally hot. And then you got to run all the way upstairs, and then you got to run to the back of the hall and do all that stuff. So it's no small task to get up here.
The poor guy left his keys here.
Oh, did he really?
He must have almost got all the way outside again and had to come back.
Oh, that sucks.
No. Yeah. Kudos to him for finding us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And kudos to Campus because the food's just phenomenal. So,
yeah, you guys should order from Campus Pizza.
yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So anyway, do we want to get into this right now?
No.
No?
We're still eating.
Oh, damn it. I was all ready to get into it. But I guess we can wait. We can wait.
I can wait.
So anyway, give us a call, 508-531-1303. Let us know what you want to hear, and anything you want, we can get it on for you. It's not a problem, and we're
got another request.
happy to do it as long as it's classic rock. You know, we always put that little asterisk on there. Make sure it's classic rock. Don't make it anything dumb, because we don't want to play anything dumb. We just want to play classic rock for you, and just get that going. That's all we want to do. Steve, you mentioned earlier that you and I are married.
Yes, we are.
Not to each other. We hastened to point out. I'd like to bring up again the fact that we're that both of us are married because of the fact that my wife was away last night and today for a work thing that she's been doing. So she's been up in Haverhill. We're up near the New Hampshire border for just an inventory that her company's been doing, and so so basically they put them up for the night because she didn't want to. It's kind of pointless to work until 8 or 9 o'clock and then drive all the way back to Kingston or Plymouth area and drive all the way back up there again. So she
had a wild night out with the girls, hey?
No, but here's the thing: is that it made me realize, and as much as we gripe and complain about a lot of things around here, it made me realize how much structure I need in my life, because even just for one night on my own, I'm no good on my own, man. Because I don't even, it's not like I go out. I don't go out and do anything crazy. And I stay in and I do nerdy things until like 2 o'clock in the morning. But then I realize that I'm 38 years old and I'm no longer 19 or 20. I can't stay up until 2 in the morning and still be able to function for a good half of the next day. It just doesn't work. So I was up and I was doing stuff for the program here, and then I was also doing some. I was putting together some stuff on iTunes, and I was like, I'm going to revamp my classic rock library and do this and categorize a whole bunch of album covers and drink some wine and do this and watch some movies and then I started realizing it was like it's midnight, 1 o'clock, and I was like, well, I probably should get to bed. And then by the time I got to bed, I was so exhausted. And then, this morning I woke up at about 6 o'clock and I felt like a truck had run over me. And I realized that it's one of those things where I've been married for 10 years and I've been, basically living with someone for 12 years. And in that period of time, I've gotten older to the point where I can't do those things anymore. But I haven't realized it because we don't stay up that late ourselves. So where I would normally discover that, hey, I'm getting older, and I would gradually discover that the threshold for how late I can actually stay up and be a human being is getting earlier and earlier. I haven't really noticed that gradually, so now it's like I immediately flash back to when I was in my 20s, and I'm like, great, I get the whole night to myself. I can stay up until, well, no, I physically can't because I'm almost 40, and it doesn't work anymore, and I just don't feel like I can, but I need, so it's one of those things where it's like just her being away from one night shows me the sort of discipline and structure that I sort of need to be able to just sort of stay on that path and go to bed at a reasonable hour and get up at a reasonable hour and all of that's fine. And just when I don't have the discipline, I just go crazy. And it's again, I don't go out and I'm not, I wasn't out all night. I was doing nerdy things all night, and then I just didn't want to wake up in the morning, and it didn't feel good And then I was like, what is wrong with me? What is going on? Why don't I?
Age, sir.
Why can't I do it anymore? I don't understand.
Age.
It's a horrible thing, sir. It's a horrible thing. I can't deal with it, but we're just going to have
So
to.
Austin Powers.
Well, what about Austin Powers?
He's right there behind your board.
Oh, is that Austin Powers? That's another thing, by the way, that I was going to mention. So, for some reason, Jared manages to find the moment in time where it's about 30 seconds left in a song, and I've got to do a transition, and he starts waving at me to come in the other room. Well, I can't go in there right now. Why didn't you wave me down during the 5 or 6 minute song that I was just playing? Why do you have to wave me down when I've got 30 seconds to run in the other room? It doesn't work.
Well, because I figured that you're married and you can, you're used to that kind of action.
I mean, granted, I can get some things done in probably about 10 or 15 seconds, but not running in the other room. I can't. I can't.
Not at age 40.
Right. The physicality of that is just beyond me, and it just doesn't work. There's no way that I can actually get that done. It's just not going to happen. So, just a little rule of thumb as we move forward that I need more than 30 seconds for the program. Not much more. Just a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So give us a call, 508-531-1303. Another block of classic rock coming up. You got SNS on BIM.
The Saturday night soundtrack.
Saturday night. Saturday night. Saturday night. Saturday night.
Actually, pretty nice little Saturday.
WBIM.
The Rolling Stones at 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS radio show. That one was a dedication from Lisa to Tom, which seems like an odd dedication to me, but who am I to judge? Nobody. That's who. Give us a call, 508-531-1303. We can judge you and your dedications as well. Nobody's immune, so that's fine. Seems like it might be time to get into this now.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. There's a lot to unpack here. A lot of activity, some conspiracy theories. So let's get into them all right now.
Oh, let me just get this going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so obviously, the tumultuous past 24 or 48 hours or whatever it's been now for the Clinton campaign, a whole bunch of now the thing that I'm thinking in my head that she's got to be thinking is sort of, and I hate to, I don't agree with Donald Trump on anything, but I got to agree with her at this point, or with him at this point, kind of, that there's got to be a thought in the back of Hillary's mind, like, Anthony Weiner again. Mm-hmm. This guy's once again causing me problems, because basically what's happened is that the whole apparently the FBI investigation that they're ramping back up into her emails has to do with Uma. Is that how or Uma? Is that how she pronounces her name?
Whatever her name is.
Yeah. So one of Clinton's aides, who of course was married and is now separated from Anthony Weiner, the New York politician who has been involved in his own sex scandals and all this kind of thing, for sexting with people. And apparently there's an investigation going on regarding the fact that Anthony Weiner, apparently emailed a picture of his wiener, they say,
exactly.
or allegedly, to a minor, and that's what they're trying to investigate. And as part of that unrelated investigation of Hillary Clinton, they found that there was a potential that some of Anthony Weiner's photos had potentially been sent on that same server that came into question during the whole during Hillary's own investigation process. So I guess what's going on now is that he has indirectly caused the investigation to ramp up against her, because they found more emails during the course of investigating him that they're now going back into, which is odd. And apparently there's also I guess the FBI the director, the Hillary campaign has come out and basically said, the timing on this is very suspicious. The fact that you dropped a letter that said that all this stuff was going on, there was going to be an investigation, but you didn't really give a whole lot of details. And, this is all happening within 2 weeks of Election Day, is a very suspicious circumstance. Mm-hmm. And I guess they're pushing back in that fashion. In other words, their stance now is, well, if you have hard evidence that you want to bring or you want to question, or whatever the case of the process is, why don't you just lay all the cards on the table, and why don't you let us know exactly what it is, instead of dropping a letter that has very vague references to things, but it was clearly designed to sort of send the whole campaign into a tumultuous panic, which has worked, because that's basically what's happening. Is now they're scrambling. Donald Trump's on the top of the world because he's all over the place, being like, well, she's a criminal and she can never get into office, or as he likes to do with his mouth, she knows what's going on, and you can't let her in. Why does he do that with his mouth? I can't stand his face. I can't stand his face, and I can't stand the faces he makes with his mouth. F him. I'm still voting for Hillary.
Yeah.
So with that being said, was there a chime in here, either with regard to the conspiracy theories or with regard to any of the impressions that you've had up until this point of these latest developments?
I just question the timing. I feel that it's
sort of the same thing that Hillary's campaign was saying.
Exactly. Whenever he takes a backlash, and he's on the way down, something like this just happens to crop up.
Right. And I mean, I'm not saying it. And one of the arguments was people were coming out and saying, well, I think I saw an interview with Gary Johnson, right? And they basically, because Gary Johnson's jumping. It's not that he has a prayer of winning anyway. No. But Gary Johnson had to jump in and give his 2 cents, and I believe it was on MSNBC. And the reporter asked him, well, would you want to see the next president potentially impeached? And he said, well, you never want to see the president impeached. That's not what you're going for. To which I will say, if Hillary gets elected and she gets impeached, okay, fine. Guess who's not going to be president under those circumstances? Donald friggin' Trump.
Exactly.
I don't want Donald Trump to be president. I don't care if Hillary gets elected and then gets impeached the very next day. Somebody else will be president that's not Donald Trump. That's fine by me. Yeah. I don't have an issue with that. Tim Kaine, great. President Kaine, fantastic. No problem. No problem with that guy. You know why I have no problem with that guy? Because he's like white bread. I don't even know anything about him. He's like vanilla yogurt. Like, he's just there, and he's plain, and he's just like, bleh. And there's nothing, what I mean? Like, there's nothing polarizing about the guy whatsoever. He would be the most uninteresting president in history, and I'm okay with it. Let's still elect Hillary, and then if you want to impeach her, great. And then we can just have somebody else who's not Donald Trump for president. Fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, just can't be Trump.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't like any of them.
No, absolutely not.
I would have rather a Cruz and Sanders election.
I think most people would have. Or I say that, but that's not true, because people apparently didn't vote for them.
This whole,
in a majority fashion.
The whole thing behind the Sanders thing, like the DNC actively, swayed people away from Sanders. That was revealed. That's a thing. You guys are looking at each other like I'm talking crazy.
A little bit.
But that was the thing. It came out in the emails. And then they even talked about it. And it was her campaign. That's why that lady stepped down from the... What? People don't remember this? Whatever. Fucking bastards.
Hey. Whoa.
So...
that beats any of mine.
Anyway, then the next thing that happens... is the more emails came out, right? Where what the hell? You got me all worked up.
Really?
Yeah,
we can tell.
Just state your point, sir. I don't understand. You would not do well in a debate situation, would you?
No, I understand that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that she is on the same level as he.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
Nope.
I think
Wrong.
the difference is with her.
The difference is that she's not an unimaginable bastard who wants to take this country back to 1939 Germany. That might be the difference.
Well, I mean, there's that.
Yes, there is that.
And
right?
she respects women, and she respects immigrants.
But does she, though?
Yes, she does.
I remember what she said during the whole other scandal of her family. But, you look at the timeline of things, that you got them edging out Sanders. You've got the new email thing that came out. I can't remember, but because I'm thinking, because there was another snippet that came out in 2006 where she says she was talking about the Palestine election, stating that we should have rigged it, basically. Like, we should have made the outcome. Let me get the quote.
Well, we probably should have. This is all politics.
No,
this is the problem.
See, that's the
this
problem
is all
there.
politics.
Yeah, but that's the problem there, right? Okay, maybe we should have, right? The problem is we are the world's probably biggest democracy. We're promoters of democracy. Democracy means something. And then when a big person representing democracy comes over and says, we should have organized a way that the person that we wanted to win could have won. That's not democracy.
So you're saying that whoever is the president should be responsible for representing the country and for saying things that are representative of what we believe and the values we hold dear. That would not be Donald Trump.
No, in my opinion, it would be none of them.
No, it would be none of them. But you got to borrow a phrase from Ernie Bach Jr. You got to pick one of them. It's the end of the night. You got to go home with someone. You know, the bar's about to close.
No, and I get that point too. But that I'm questioning what would happen because this country hasn't had a big thing in a while, right? In that we should be standing up for our own rights, and the fact that we don't believe in any of these candidates. Why are we not all collectively boycotting the election? That would be a huge situation.
Yeah, and if 3 people didn't.
And the 3 people are going to be the toothless losers in Missouri who just got out of the Walmart and decided to go vote, and they're going to vote for friggin' Trump, and then this country's going to go down the hole.
It's already down a hole.
Yeah, well, it's going to go further
We're not
down
even
the
the
hole.
world's greatest democracy anymore. That's already been you look at the report card for that. We're not even on that level anymore.
Well, he's not.
Our education is down.
He is not going to help any of these factors.
Yep.
He's not going to help any of these factors.
I know he's not going to help.
Because of the fact that, number one, it's the way he's represented, the way he represents himself, the fact that he's a petulant child, the fact that he has absolutely no diplomatic skills whatsoever, and it all comes down to if I am interviewing somebody for a position in a job, the first thing that I'm going to look at is what their experience is. What is Donald Trump's experience in politics? Nothing.
Zero.
He has no experience in politics or diplomacy or democracy, and he shows it every single time he opens his goddamn mouth.
No, I understand that too. But a lot of the people in the beginning of this country didn't know. It was all just. Let's just find our way through. And I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm voting for the guy.
We just did
I'm
that
not saying I'm voting for the guy or that I champion the guy because I have my problems with him too. I have huge problems with him. I'm just saying that a lot of people are just kind of giving this lady a pass, and I don't think that's the way it should be. And I almost feel like people are giving her the pass because they're kind of too wowed over the fact that it's a woman, and that they're like, oh, we should have a woman president because it's been long overdue. I don't care. People are like, I don't care that this and this has happened.
I actually think the fact that she's a woman still goes against her more than it would do if she was a guy. So.
No, but I've met a lot of people that saying that they're voting her only because she's a woman.
Yeah, and
I don't agree with
probably as many, if not more, men out there that will not vote for her because she's a woman.
And I think it's also probably the fact that I think her husband's not helping her any either. So she's got all of these things that she's sort of working against her and just sort of swimming upstream. And I just, I don't know. Overall, just not. Like I said, if she gets elected and then she gets impeached the very next day, I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that because then somebody else would be the president who doesn't have these things against them, and it's still not him.
All right. There's a whole lot of people, right, that want to see Bernie in there.
Sure.
Okay? Why isn't there being a push of people going, I'm writing in Bernie?
Because the way the current system is set up, this election and the results of this election are too important to be effing around with writing in candidates, because writing candidates are not going to win, and you write enough people write in the candidate, all they're going to do is just split the vote, and they're going to give it right. They're going to hand it right to Trump. And the problem is, this is just way too dangerous a situation.
There's no way that guy can even win at this point.
I understand that. That's my point, is that if enough Democrats who want Sanders write in Sanders and don't vote for Clinton, then the Democrats are split and shattered, and then Trump wins.
I don't know.
And that's a disaster.
I know, like I told you guys earlier, I've got a problem with someone that claims that they were under fire. When people were under fire that very moment, and some of them had died, and yet we're giving her a pass. Whereas Brian does the same damn thing, the news anchor,
Yes, we know.
does the same damn thing, and we cast him out. We're like, oh, no, we can't have a news anchor doing that, but we're okay with having a president do that. What the? You serious? I don't talk politics.
Steve,
I
is
just don't understand.
Steve, is this next song for Jared?
Yes.
I don't understand. I don't understand this.
I don't know. I didn't link this next song to this conversation.
Oh, no,
He
I did.
so.
I did.
Oh, there
Because
you
I
go.
knew I was going to say some things that you guys didn't like. And, you know,
Well, that's fine. That's what America's for, is healthy debate. So enjoy it and have fun with it while you can, because if your guy gets in 2 weeks, guess what? It's going to be
it's
a
not my
friggin'
guy.
dictatorship.
I don't want him in.
And then
I don't want him nor her in.
And we are going down the toilet.
I am fine. You know what? I am fine. I am fine if there's some kind of executive order that puts Obama back in for another year. For another year, just until we do until we get
Just
better.
until we figure this whole mess
Yeah,
out, because
'cause
we're
here's-
like, we totally goofed this up.
Yeah, right. Because if you have a position open, right, for your employees to get into, right, for a promotion, and people come to you and they're not good enough candidates, you go, we're not hiring right now. We'll wait until we get better candidates. That's what you do. We don't have good candidates. None of these people, in my mind, are ready to go. I don't know.
So I agree. That's one point that we thoroughly agree on.
You know what I mean? Like, why isn't that happening?
Just the way it is.
I'm not happy with this whole scenario.
No, neither.
And everything that's coming out.
Nor should you be.
On
Or should
either
most
end.
people be.
On either end, it's just ridiculous.
Mama, keep your big mouth shut.
Yeah, here we go.
There's a stack waddy. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did.
Oh, good.
That person was angry at me when they called. I'm sure of it.
do you think they were angry and then they just decided to hang
They
up?
just turned off the radio. 'cause
They were like, I
can't-
don't even need to hear from this guy anymore.
Yeah.
91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS Radio Show. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to hear. 508-531-1303. Leonard Skinner's on 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday night soundtrack. That one was for Lisa, and I can't remember where I was, but I was someplace over the past week, and they were playing that song. It was a restaurant or something, and they had that song playing.
Really?
And it just unceremoniously ended, like probably about a good 2 minutes before the actual ending of the song.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
I was like,
understandable.
are you serious? It's just you've got to play the whole thing, or not at all. It's interesting, actually, that song, that the original version of Freebird, when it was originally released, was on Leonard Skinner's first album, pronounced Leonard Skinner, and that version had a fade out, and it didn't end the way the one we just heard did. And then they actually they had that full recording that was included on Skinner's Innards, their first greatest hits, and that was the first time it was ever heard full. And I can't. I don't know. I can't play the fade out version. I just can't do it. But the one I heard in the restaurant wasn't even a fade out version. It was like, we're just going to cut it here now. You've heard enough of this song. Please move on. I'm like, no, I want to hear the rest of my. What's that? I think I was at Moe's. That's what it was.
Moe's.
I was at Moe's Southwest Grill enjoying my burrito, and then I was like, what the hell, man? What's going on? I don't understand what. Why is it fading out? 508-531-1303. Give us a call. Let us know if you want to hear anything. We got one last classic rock block that's coming up, so we get anything on that you want as part of that. And Steve, it's time.
Okay.
It's time to discuss our feelings
Uh-huh.
and our emotions and everything else. So
Get ready for more conspiracies.
great. So well, the good thing is we can have healthy debate and conspiracies and decide that Jared is a loon, but still be friends. So that's good.
Yes, we can.
That's what being good American strong friends is all about. Obviously the season premiere was last Sunday for Walking Dead, and obviously
Caught me off guard, I can tell.
obviously things just heated up really quickly.
Yes, they did.
So if anybody doesn't know by now and you don't want to know, turn off your radio. But you should have watched it by now, so shame on you. But spoilers are coming. Clearly, so the first victim of Negan and Lucille was Abraham. He was the one who, at the end of the at the end of last season, you heard somebody getting hit, and you heard Negan say that they're taking it like a champ. And then he keeps whacking him with the bat, and that was Abraham. And then after that, obviously, Daryl kind of lost his poop and lunged at Negan, and that didn't end very well. And Negan said, we got to make an example out of everybody. And Daryl didn't get that example, and Glenn did.
Yes.
And it was in keeping with the comics, and just whacked in the head, and eye popping out, and all gross. And I was telling Jared on the ride up here, and I was like, I don't mind admitting that I'm a 38-year-old adult man, and I was uncomfortable watching that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it gave me the creeps.
Well, they buried his head in the ground for that very last shot where you still see his hand moving, but he has no head left.
Is that what it was?
That was actually him. Buried it up to his neck. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was
that
nice.
scene just creeped me out, but in a good way. I mean, obviously, it was very well done that it could have that effect. But I was like, "Oh, that's creepy." And then I like how you hear the voiceover of Negan just going, "You people are a bunch of."
Yes.
And I admit also that, and this is when it was Abraham, I was like, that sort of makes sense for this series, but I admitted being partially disappointed.
Yes.
And then they followed it up with the Glenn thing, and I was like, holy crap.
I know.
Oh, geez.
I didn't think they were going to do that with all the false Glenn things. that
I was
we've
like,
been
so they
through.
managed to do it and keep it with the comics, but make you still, within the same episode, think they weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
And with that, all my skepticism, once again, I'm drawn back in for a season. Every season I say I'm probably not going to continue watching this program because it keeps letting me down and there's goofy stuff. And I was all pissed off at the end of last season, and I was like, well, this is dumb. And now they're going to make us wait, and I'm all through with this show. Yeah. I'm not through with this show at all.
No.
Unfortunately.
Which is interesting because
What?
when I was
Very
going
interesting.
Yeah, when I was going through things, I saw that there is actually a movement called walking away.
Yeah, but out of the people that they polled so far, 76% of people polled are sticking with it. Only 24% said they're turning away. So it's a very small.
Well,
Very small.
I'm glad I stayed away.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan
Yes.
interviewed this week, and they asked him about the backstory behind Negan. And he said, well, you won't see any flashbacks until at least the next season.
Okay.
So he's definitely in it for the long haul.
So we're not going to have so we won't, in the immediate next 3 or 4 episodes, we won't have an hour-and-a-half episode about Negan.
No.
Or 2 back-to-back hour-and-a-half episodes or whatever that was that they did with the governor that was stupid.
No.
Because that didn't end up, the net result with the governor was like, well, he's still a bad guy. It would be like if they did an episode or 2 about Negan trying to show how he was at the beginning, which I would be interested to see, but I would want to see him being an evil bastard even before everything happened, because it's like there's no point in trying to show a redeemable part of this character and then just swing him right back into being the big bad.
No.
There's no point in that.
No.
And that's exactly what they did with the governor, and it didn't work because it was like, well, you've just wasted 2.5 hours collectively of my time over the past 2 weeks, and he's right back where he started from.
Yeah.
Like, he's
No
still
change.
a bad guy, and I don't really care. Same thing with Morgan. You gave me an hour-and-a-half episode about Morgan, and he just ends up at the end of the episode pretty much
The same.
I don't understand the point of that.
Yeah.
And I did say to you off the air, too, that I'm bracing myself for the fact that first episode of the season was so good that I am preparing myself for the next 2 or 3 to be boring, at least. Because now they're not going to have anything really happen for a little bit. You know, you're going to it's probably going to be like, how it was like, where's Glenn for a while? It's going to be like, where's Daryl for a while? Because he just got thrown in the back of that thing. Yes, Jared.
You do know they're going into the cowl episode,
right.
though, next. So.
I don't agree with that. This episode being a good episode, it felt like a whole episode of torture porn.
I don't know what to say to that. It was like one of the best episodes I've seen. Right?
All it did was just like one cringy moment after another cringy moment that left you sitting there going like, "Ooh, is he gonna kill?"
I think the whole best part of this whole episode was not the gruesome parts; it was the breaking of Rick. That was that was incredible, incredibly well done. Sorry, that was the best part.
Well, it's fine. Nobody's.
No, I know.
Peter hasn't been around all night. I don't know where Peter is. And Lisa and Tom are listening to us. I'm sure they've heard these words before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there's a delay. Oh, it's too late. So Jared disagrees with the episode being good.
'cause, like,
Shock.
There was no real character development.
Of course there was.
No, there wasn't.
Are you living on Mars, sir?
I am. I certainly am. I did not see any character development. All I saw was just like character regression. The thing I don't understand about these people is that these people have been living in this, like, that when they're in the town, right?
Take this down a tad?
You take it down. When they're in the town, They were standing back to back to each other.
God, it's louder when I take my headphones off.
Oh, yeah.
right.
They were standing back to back to each other with baseball bats, chains, and whatnot.
Let me try it.
And then there were...
Yeah.
It's better for me.
They and they're going back to back with chains and everything against armies of zombies, and they're doing good.
They're not
Negan's
zombies.
people, forget about it. Well, we're gonna get down on our knees and we're gonna.
Well, they had guns to their heads, sir.
Yes.
Zombies don't hold guns to people's heads.
Sure they do.
Zombies, no, they don't.
Have you ever seen?
Zombies have nothing physically to fight with other than their teeth and the fact that they're grabbing at you, so it's very easy to stand back to back and fight them.
That's why I like.
Are you a crazy person?
That's why I like the zombies from Return of the Living Dead. They talked, they walked, and they ran, and they planned.
I feel like this is like that scene in Family Guy when Peter goes on about how he didn't like The Godfather, and they bring up all these valid points, and then he goes, "I like the money pit." That is my answer to that statement. That's the kind of conversation I feel like I'm having right now.
So, I didn't see any character development to push the story forward.
Okay. Well, we'll agree to disagree.
I think he was watching another show. I think
I wasn't
by
watching
mistake.
another show. Maggie's sitting there,
You know,
crying, still going. I have to go.
I think he was watching something on PBS, maybe Downton Abbey or something.
Somebody's going to swear again.
Yeah.
Man, and that's 3 strikes.
It's your turn.
Nope. I've already dropped a couple this semester. I'm going to try to behave myself the rest of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, was the whole thing needed with Rick forcing Rick to cut off his son's arm?
Yes.
Was
Of course
that
he
needed?
was.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because that's breaking Rick.
That's showing
Rick
the total breakdown.
just like Negan said, basically, you keep giving me that look. I think he said exactly, quote, "You keep giving me this look like I pissed in your Cheerios."
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to fly. And he just wants Rick to basically submit to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole point. And Rick is an alpha. Rick's not going to submit to him without a good goddamn reason to do
How
so.
is Rick an alpha when he's crying every Coral? Coral? How is he an alpha?
Because he's the
Alpha
alpha
male?
of the group,
If
sir.
anything, Negan's
You've seen every... Oh, no, you haven't seen every episode, of course.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Coral.
Oh, I forgot. You dropped off around season 2, and now you've picked up on season 7 and are an expert on the character progression.
He's got
Continue.
like 5 seasons that
Right.
he hasn't seen, but he comes up with
That
brilliant assumptions.
that guy that Negan was asking to get the axe and everything, his name is Rick. He was the sheriff, and he's been the leader of this group for seasons and seasons.
Well,
you might not be aware of
He's
that.
being
I
a
don't
terrible
know.
leader.
So
All these people
you
died.
realise there's
The
only
whole point.
three left from the original 12.
4.
There's Rick, there's Carl, there's Daryl.
4.
And
Sad. Well, he doesn't watch
The
the
son.
show, but he knows that there's 4.
Well, you obviously saw the same picture I did.
So Rick,
You don't need to
Daryl-
watch the show to see that.
they almost all rhyme. Besides
Yeah, I
Rick,
know.
Rick, Daryl, Carol, and Carl.
Yes.
And Carl's very close to Daryl because he's probably Daryl's son. And
They look alike. They look alike.
oh my god. So anyway, we'll see what tomorrow night holds, and I'm just interested to see how they continue this going forward.
Yeah,
And,
now my other show that the wife and I watch on a Sunday, or we don't watch it on a Sunday, we watch it during the week. The Strain, that is going along smoothly right now.
Oh,
I
is
thought
it?
we're going to talk about
Yes.
Westworld.
It's a wonderful thing.
I want to talk about Westworld, except I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it. I've got like 4 or 5 episodes probably by now on the DVR, and just haven't gotten to them yet. I don't know how many have been on, but I'm just
About 5 tomorrow.
ballparking. Yeah, okay.
It's beautiful.
So
It's a beautiful show.
I've heard a lot of good things about it from other people who have seen it, and I definitely want to get into it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, so that's definitely the next one that I want to see. Steve, is tomorrow night going to be? So now that you made sure to watch, or at least watch the beginning of the season premiere last week, are you now going to wait until Monday and DVR Walking Dead this week and just watch it Monday night?
watch this Sundays?
Yeah, tomorrow nights.
Oh, no, yeah, we always watch. We watch it on demand on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I knew you wanted to jump in, and I'm just saying because you jumped in and watched at least the beginning of it last Sunday.
Just because I actually, well, it was a busy day for me. We had the Austin Grand Prix.
Right,
then
you
we
had a lot of stuff
the other
going
Patriots
on.
game. And then I tried to stay awake for The Walking Dead, and I couldn't. I was beat.
Right.
So I went to bed, but for some strange reason, I woke up at around about 11:15. So I got up and I watched the 11:40 rerun.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I only took it as far as Glenn, because
Gotcha.
by that time it was getting past midnight, and I had to get up in the morning.
Right.
So I went to bed. So then I waited to watch the whole thing again with Gene. So,
There you go.
Yeah.
And the Patriots are playing again tomorrow, by the way. They're playing
1
at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I thought this was the bye week. Maybe I was thinking of next week. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're 1 o'clock, and they're against the Bills, which is, at this point, the only team that they've lost to this season.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens, and if Rex Ryan does anything stupid.
It's going to be an away game then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because they played at,
Yeah.
last time they played was at Gillette, so.
Exactly.
Last block of Classic Rock. Let's get into it. 508-531-1303. Let us know what you want to hear. You got SNS on BIM.
The best reason to listen to WBIM on Saturday nights instead of your iPod. Size matters. The largest library of classic rock in Bridgewater is on. This Saturday night soundtrack with Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, and Steve Rimmer. 91.5 WBIM.
It's 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday night soundtrack about ready to wrap it up for another week. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer. And with this, we're actually wrapping up October as well. So that's in the books. We only got one... we don't have any actual full months left of this show. So we got 1 week off in next week, obviously, in November. And then we got 2 weeks in December, I believe. And then that's going to be it for us.
Yes.
For the semester. And then we get to find out what happens again in January. We get to start the whole process.
Let's hope
all
it's
over.
as smooth as it was this time.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, let's see how that goes. See how we do with that. Yeah, so 3, so maybe 5 episodes left for us.
Yeah.
I'd say. And that's just how it's gonna go. But we'll be around, and we'll be doing Classic Rock until 11 o'clock every night. Until then, and then starting in January, well, who knows? Who knows what we're going to be doing?
No.
But hopefully it's going to be something around the same. I feel bad for Jared because I feel like you've been embroiled in that process that you were trying to get
All night, yeah.
get resolved, and you've seemed somewhat distant, with the exception of the few heated debates that we had. But we're still friends, right?
Yeah.
You're still driving me home, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Into a ditch.
But with the exception of that,
A baseball bat. That's what I should have said.
named you Lucille. With the exception of that, I hope that I honestly hope everything works out, because it doesn't look like what you were doing was a fun time.
It was not a fun time.
And from what you've explained to me and from what you were telling Steve and I off the air, it doesn't sound like it was necessarily something that you want to be doing or having drag on for a long period of time.
Quite
It
angry.
was painful to watch from my side.
But you seemed very. I liked how you kept looking over. Like, is that Steve was very involved in the process. He was like, "Well, what is going on now?" Just kept leaning over to look at it. Like,
Yeah.
what? Are you serious? Are you? Could this possibly still be happening right now? I don't get it.
SNS presents the FCC violation of the week.
So here's where we go through the stacks back there and just find out who's said what on the air.
Not much of a stack.
Yeah, let's, again, from our glass house here, especially tonight, gentlemen, let's throw stones and go through the, and again, we never mention the names of the DJs or the names of the shows. We just read off what the violation was. We bleep it if necessary. This week it is not necessary. Can you explain to me why this is even in the stacks? The instruction on the FCC violation form is to please write exactly what was said on the air on the lines below. And it says, and I quote, Pornhub offered to buy Vine. Apparently 6 seconds is more than enough.
I don't even understand.
It's not even funny, number one.
For
Go ahead.
Uninitiated, Vine is a 6-second video site that Twitter was hosting for a while.
And it's gone now, right?
Yeah, it was getting some decent exposure on it or whatever, but they decided to shut it down because Twitter's in its own little hateful world. And
Twitter's garbage. By the way, follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack.
And so the porn site Pornhub decided that put a bid in to buy it, and because they figured 6 seconds is enough for somebody to look at pornography.
Right. That's a double entendre or an innuendo or whatever you want to call it. It's not profanity, and it's perfectly fine to say.
Yeah.
If you want a list of things that are not fine to say, we can either provide you one or just listen to this program. You will come across them eventually.
Yes.
From any one of us.
We've been better this season, though.
No, we haven't.
no, we haven't. No, that's true.
I mean, I could go back and do the math and try to figure out as an average across episodes, but there were 2 tonight, man. Yeah. That throws the average way off.
That's true.
That's not a glowing, but yes, I guess technically speaking, compared to some areas of time that took place over the past couple of semesters, and maybe we've done better. I don't know. None of our, again, nobody's apparently listening or keeping track, so I guess it doesn't really matter as far as that's concerned. I don't know why they're not listening and keeping track, but I'm happy for it because it benefits us for them not to be involved. So I do not have the keys. Nobody has given me keys. That door is unlocked. I don't know about the door to the station.
And the whole world needs to hear that.
Well, yeah. Well, there was no way for me to communicate that without it. So I never end up with keys anymore. It's convenient on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's like then when they come in and they ask for keys, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's a very generous idea of what the audience is. By the way, sir, the whole world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, I think Lisa and Tom have even turned us off by now. That ain't land it. Oh, these guys are done. They're all finished for the evening. Everything's fine. We're going to bed. See ya. 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday night soundtrack. We will be back next week. We will be 1 week closer to the election, of course, and we'll see what kind of trouble and arguments we can get into at that time, and it'll be a blast. And until next week, Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer. We'll see you. Bye.